Welcome back to our 4-part saga on the Blackrock Orcs. In part 3, the clan's dark ambitions flare under the black dragonflight's shadow, as Nefarian's influence fuels their savagery. From betrayals in the Burning Steppes, to the shocking revelation of Red Blackhand's survival, the Dark Horde threatens both Alliance and New Horde. As the Cataclysm reshapes Azeroth, the Blackrocks unleash chaos in Northshire Valley and Redridge, forging deadly alliances to crush their foes. Join us as we uncover the clan's ruthless campaigns and the heroes rising to challenge their fiery wrath. The Blackrocks' activities also drew the attention of the New Horde. A traitor named Grark Lorkrub was discovered leaking sensitive information about the Kargath Expeditionary Force's operations to the Blackrocks in the Burning Steppes. Lakeshire, Horde commander, tasked adventurers with capturing Grark, highlighting the ongoing threat posed by the Blackrock faction to Thrall's vision of a unified Orcish society. Simultaneously, the Black Drake Velrock manipulated adventurers into sabotaging the Dark Irons in the Searing Gorge, falsely claiming that the legions of Blackrock were poised to invade and devastate the region further, complicating the power dynamics in Blackrock Mountain. As the Blackrock's connection to the Black Dragonflight became apparent, Alliance forces in the Burning Steppes began to reconsider their assumptions about the Orcs' savagery, realizing that their aggression was being fueled by Nefarian's influence. An adventurer was dispatched to warn Magistrate Solomon in Lakeshire of the Dragonflight's involvement, as a combined threat of the Blackrocks and Nefarian's dragons posed an existential danger to the town. Solomon, recognizing Lakeshire's vulnerability, sent an adventurer to Stormwind City to seek aid from High Lord Bolvar Fordragon. However, Lady Katrana Prestor, secretly the Black Dragon Onyxia, sister of Nefarian, refused to commit Stormwind's resources, forcing Bolvar to deputize the adventurer to gather definitive proof of the Dragonflight's control over the Blackrocks. This proof was critical to securing military support for Lakeshire. The investigation led to the search for Marshal Reginald Windsor, an Alliance officer who had been collecting intelligence on the Blackrocks before his disappearance. Ragged John, a survivor of Windsor's unit, recounted how they were ambushed by a Blackrock raiding party in Blackrock Mountain, where a larger battle between the Orcs and Dark Irons unfolded. Windsor, wielding the Dwarven Hammer Iron Foe, fought valiantly but was captured by the Dark Irons, who recognized the weapon's significance and spared his life, imprisoning him in the Blackrock depths. Windsor's eventual rescue and his revelations of Katrana Prestor's true identity as Onyxia marked a turning point, though it cost him his life. Within the New Horde, the discovery of Blackrock documents signed by Warchief Rend in Blackrock Spire shocked Thrall's followers, who had believed Rend was long dead. An adventurer was sent to Orgrimmar to consult with Eitri, a veteran of the Blackrock clan, to assess the threat posed by Rend's Dark Horde. Thrall, determined to neutralize this rogue faction that undermined his vision, ordered people to infiltrate Blackrock Spire and kill Rend, retrieve his head as proof of his demise. This mission underscored a deep rift between the Blackrock Orcs loyal to Thrall's New Horde and those under Rend and Nefarian, whose allegiance to the Black Dragonflight and demonic legacy threatened both the Alliance and the Horde's fragile stability in a world on the brink of the Third War. Cataclysm, Northshire Valley. Following the catastrophic events of the Cataclysm, a cataclysmic upheaval caused by the Black Dragon Deathwing that reshaped the face of Azeroth, a new opportunity arose for the Blackrock Orcs entrenched in the Burning Steppes. The seismic disturbances created a breach in the mountain range separating the fiery volcanic region of the Burning Steppes from the serene Northshire Valley and Elwyn Forest, a lush and historically significant human territory. This breach provided a direct pathway for a force of Blackrock Orcs, led by the ruthless warlord Kurtok the Slayer, to launch an audacious invasion into Northshire Valley, a region long considered a bastion of Alliance strength and home to Northshire Abbey, a sacred training ground for priests and paladins. Kurtok, a formidable and cunning leader within the Blackrock clan, saw the breach as a chance to strike at the heart of the human territory, exploiting the chaos of the Cataclysm to expand the influence of the Dark Horde, still loyal to the legacy of Dalren Blackhand and the Black Dragonflight under Nefarian. The Blackrock invasion was marked by a multi-pronged assault designated to overwhelm Northshire's defenders. Kurtok's forces unleashed battle wargs, savage, trained beasts bred for war, against the human soldiers stationed in Northshire Abbey. These ferocious creatures, known for their strength and relentless aggression, tore through the valley, sowing chaos and weakening the Abbey's defenses. Simultaneously, Blackrock spies infiltrated the northwestern forests of the valley, stealthily observing the human forces and gathering intelligence to inform Kurtok. To further bolster their attack, the Blackrocks employed goblin assassins, mercenaries hired for their deadly precision and lack of a conscience. These assassins targeted human soldiers, ambushing a battalion stationed behind the abbey, and disrupting the Alliance's ability to mount a coordinated defense. The combination of wargs, spies, and goblin mercenaries created a climate of fear and disarray, putting immense pressure on Northshire's defenders. In response, the Alliance mobilized people to counter the Blackrock incursion. These brave individuals are tasked with eliminating the battle wargs, whose rampages threatened to overrun the abbey, rooting out the Blackrock spies lurking in the forests, whose reconnaissance posed a long-term threat to Northshire's security. They were also to confront the goblin assassins, engaging them in deadly skirmishes to protect the beleaguered battalions between the abbey. Beyond direct combat, they were charged with healing fallen human soldiers, providing critical support to maintain the valley's defenses and protect those who were vulnerable. Despite these efforts, a significant contingent of Blackrock Orcs entrenched themselves in the eastern part of Northshire Valley, escalating their aggression by setting fire to the surrounding forest. The flames not only destroyed the valley's natural beauty, but also served as a psychological weapon, signaling the Blackrock's intent to dominate and devastate the region. The Blackrock forces, under Kurtok's command, further intensified their campaign by seizing the Northshire vineyards, a key agricultural area in the valley. The Orcs set the vineyards ablaze, using the fires to disrupt the local economy and demoralize the human population. This act was a part of a broader strategy to prepare for a final, crushing assault on Northshire's defenders, with the vineyards serving as a staging ground for their operation. The burning of the vineyards was both a tactical maneuver and a symbolic gesture, underscoring the Blackrock's disregard for the land and its people. Alliance mercenaries were swiftly dispatched to the vineyards to confront the rampaging orcs, tasked with killing the invaders, collecting their weapons to prevent further use, and extinguish the fires to save what remained of the valley's resources. These efforts were critical to slowing the Blackrock's advance and preserving Northshire's viability as a defensible position. At the heart of the invasion was Kurtok the Slayer, who orchestrated the assault from a hidden passage in the mountains, using the breach created by the Cataclysm as a strategic base for launching additional attacks. Recognizing that Kurtok's leadership was the linchpin of the Blackrock offensive, Alliance commanders ordered adventurers to infiltrate the passage and eliminate him. The mission was perilous, as Kurtok was a seasoned warrior surrounded by loyal Blackrock forces and a well-positioned area within the rugged terrain. Nevertheless, the adventurers succeeded in slaying Kurtok, dealing a significant blow to the Blackrock incursion. His death disrupted the Orcs' chain of command and halted their immediate plans for further assaults on Northshire Valley. In the wake of Kurtok's defeat, the Alliance took steps to prevent further invasions through the mountain breach. Peasants and laborers were sent to the passage with orders to seal it, using whatever materials and methods were available to block the pathway and prevent additional Blackrock forces from crossing from the burning steps. This effort, while labor-intensive and fraught with danger due to the proximity of remaining Orc stragglers, was essential to restoring security to Northshire Valley. The sealing of the pass symbolized the Alliance's determination to protect its heartland from the resurgent threat of the Blackrock clan, whose actions in Northshire underscored their continued allegiance to the destructive legacy of the Dark Horde. The invasion, though ultimately repelled, left scars on the valley, both literal in the form of burnt forests and vineyards, and figurative in their heightened vigilance required to guard against future Blackrock aggression in a post-Cataclysm world. Redridge Mountains. Following the Cataclysm, the Blackrock Orcs, still aligned with the Dark Horde and under the influence of the Black Dragonflight, launched a renewed and ambitious campaign against the human settlement of Lakeshire in the Redridge Mountains. This time, they forged an alliance with the Redridge Gnolls, a savage and opportunistic group to orchestrate a coordinated assault aimed at overwhelming the human defenses and paving the way for a direct attack on Stormwind City, the heart of the Alliance. The Blackrocks, leveraging their military prowess and strategic cunning, placed several of their warriors in the Wrathband Caverns, a network of tunnels in eastern Redridge under the direct command of the Gnoll leader Yowler. This unusual partnership highlighted the Blackrock's willingness to collaborate with other factions to achieve their goals, with Yowler serving as a key figure in coordinating the joint forces. To bolster their offensive, the Blackrocks provided Yowler's gnoll-ally, Ardo Dirtpaw, the magical orb of immense power, granting him the ability to control the local Ettins, massive, two-headed giants known for their brute strength. This magical augmentation turned the Ettins into a devastating weapon, enhancing the threat posed by the combined Orc and Gnoll forces. The Blackrock's invasion plans, uncovered through documents carried by Yowler, revealed a massive buildup of Orcish and Gnoll forces in eastern Redridge, centered around strategic locations like Stonewatch Keep and the surrounding valleys. The documents also exposed the involvement of the Blackrock general Gathelzog, a veteran warlord whose leadership had previously driven the clan's conquests in the region. Gatlozog's strategy was audacious: to march his armies across Lakeshire, crushing its defenses, and then proceed directly into Stormwind City, aiming to strike a crippling blow to the Alliance's capital. The scale of this planned invasion alarmed Lakeshire's leaders, Magistrate Solomon and Colonel Trotman, who recognized the existential threat to their own town and the broader Alliance. Desperate for a solution, they turned to John J. Keeshan, a legendary war veteran renowned for his heroics against the Orcs during the earlier conflicts. However, Keeshan, battle-weary and disillusioned, initially refused to take up arms, forcing Solomon and Trotman to rely on Alliance individuals to rally him. These adventurers were tasked with retrieving Keeshan's armor and personal possessions from Altar's Mill and Render's camp, items that symbolized his past victories and were intended to reignite his resolve. Simultaneously, the adventurers embarked on a perilous mission to rescue members of Keeshan's former unit, Bravo Company, who had been captured by the Blackrocks and were being held in various locations across Redridge, including camps and caverns heavily guarded by Orc forces. With Keeshan roused and Bravo Company reunited, the group set out for Camp Everstill, located on the far side of Lake Everstill, to prepare a counteroffensive. The Blackrocks had destroyed the bridge connecting Lakeshire to Stonewatch Keep, forcing the humans to choose between two dangerous routes: traveling north through Altar's Mill, where they would face an army of Blackrock-controlled wargs, or south through Render's Valley, which Bravo Company member Jorgensen described as a death trap due to its heavy orc presence. Keeshan directed his comrade Messner to secure Seaphorium, a powerful explosive, while the adventurer was tasked with gathering materials for camouflage to conceal their movements and locate SI-7 scout Brubaker, who had gathered intelligence on the Blackrocks. Tragically, the adventurer found Brubaker dead, his body gruesomely strung up by the Orcs as a warning. A note in his pouch revealed critical information. The Blackrocks were holding numerous prisoners of war in cages throughout Render's Valley, and more alarmingly, they were being supported by black dragons, indicating the continued influence of Nefarian's dragonflight. The adventurer and Jorgensen worked together to free the prisoners, using the gathered camouflage to avoid detection while eliminating Blackrock scouts. With the prisoners liberated, the adventurer planted the Seaphorium charges, detonating them to obliterate Render's Valley, transforming it into Render's Crater, and killing scores of Blackrock Orcs in a devastating explosion that disrupted their foothold in the region. With Render's Valley neutralized, Bravo Company turned its attention to the Blackrock High Command at Stonewatch Keep, but first addressed the threat posed by the Shadowhide Gnolls and their leader, Grand Magus Doan, a human traitor who had aligned himself with the Blackrocks. The adventurer retrieved the key to Doan's stronghold, the Tower of Ilgalar, from General Fangor, a high-ranking Shadowhide Gnoll, and led an assault that decimated the Gnoll forces. Inside the tower, the adventurer confronted Doan, but the cunning Magus escaped via teleportation, cryptically mentioning Dark Blaze before vanishing. Colonel Trotman arrived with a massive Alliance siege tank to support Bravo Company's advance, as the Blackrocks, now aware of the human positions, sent a large force to intercept them. The adventurer piloted the siege tank, mowing down hundreds of Orc soldiers and clearing a path to Keeshan's post in North Redridge, leaving Stonewatch Keep as the Blackrock's final stronghold. The climactic battle at Stonewatch Keep saw Bravo Company confront the Blackrock High Command, including Tharlzun and Galtazog, both of whom had been transformed into Death Knights, through the lingering influence of dark magic tied to the Black Dragonflight and the Burning Legion's legacy. As the company fought to dismantle the Blackrock leadership, Trotman warned that they had walked into a trap. Suddenly, the Black Dragon Darkblaze revealed himself, unveiling his true identity as Grandmaster Doan. Darkblaze mocked the humans, questioning whether they truly believed the Orcs could orchestrate such a large-scale invasion without his guidance. He declared their deaths would serve as an offering to Deathwing, signaling the beginning of the march on Stormwind. In a ferocious battle, Darkblaze unleashed his fiery wrath, incinerating most of Bravo Company in an instant. John J. Keeshan, in a desperate act of heroism, leapt into the dragon's mouth as Darkblaze, gravely wounded, attempted to flee across Lake Everstill. The dragon succumbed to his injuries and plummeted into the lake, taking Keeshan with him. The adventurer, the sole survivor of Bravo Company, returned to Lakeshire to report to Magistrate Solomon that the Blackrock invasion had been stopped, but at a devastating cost. Keeshan's body was never recovered, leaving his fate uncertain and adding a layer of tragic mystery to the victory. The Blackrock campaign into Redridge, driven by their alliance with the Gnolls and the Black Dragonflight, underscored their persistent threat to the Alliance. Even in the wake of the Cataclysm, the revelation of Darkblaze's involvement highlighted the deeper plotting of the Black Dragonflight, whose influence continued to fuel the Blackrock's aggression and ambition. While the invasion was stopped, the heavy losses suffered by Bravo Company and the destruction wrought in Redridge served as a grim reminder of the Blackrock clan's enduring legacy as a force of chaos and destruction, even as their counterparts in the New Horde sought to forge a different path in Kalimdor. Burning Steppes. In the aftermath of the Cataclysm, the Blackrock Orcs, still operating as part of the Dark Horde under the influence of the Black Dragonflight, began amassing their forces in the Burning Steppes for another ambitious invasion of Redridge, specifically targeting Lakeshire. This aggressive maneuver was characterized by the New Horde, led by Thrall, as an act of blind aggression, with the Blackrock veteran Ariok describing it as driven by nothing more than territorial ambition devoid of strategic purpose. The Blackrock's plans threatened to destabilize the region, prompting a rare collaboration between the Alliance and the New Horde to thwart the impending assault. To this end, Alliance adventurers were dispatched to work alongside Colonel Trotman and the legendary war veteran John J. Keyshan, who had miraculously survived his near-fatal encounter with the Black Dragon Darkblaze, while Horde adventurers joined forces with Eitrigue, a respected Blackrock veteran loyal to Thrall, and his son Ariok. This joint effort underscored the shared recognition of the Blackrock clan's threat, transcending factional divides in the face of their destructive ambitions. The Blackrock's preparations in the Burning Steppes were marked by a series of ruthless and calculated moves. At the Whelpland Downs, a desolate area within the steppes, the orcs enslaved baby dragons from various flights, chaining them to the ground as part of Nefarian's twisted experiments to bolster his Black Dragonflight's power. These cruel acts reflected the Blackrock's subversiveness to Nefarian, who sought to harness the dragon's strength for his own ends. In the northwest, the Blackrock warlock Nergash the Shadow and his followers forcibly expelled the goblin warlock Gorzekai Wildeyes from his home at the Altar of Storms, seizing the site for their own dark rituals. This act of aggression further consolidated the Blackrock's control over key strategic locations in the region. To counter these moves, adventurers from both factions were tasked with disrupting the Blackrock's operations, rescuing the enslaved dragon whelps, eliminating the orc whelpers overseeing the dragons, and gathering critical supplies from the surrounding areas. They also secured reagents from Gorzekai, whose knowledge of dark magic proved useful in undermining the Blackrock's efforts. The adventurers then rendezvoused with Keyshan, Trotman, Ariok, and Eitrigue at Chiselgrip, a neutral hub controlled by the Thorian Brotherhood, a faction of dwarves with their own grievances against the Blackrocks. En route, the group clashed with Blackrock forces at the Blacktooth Hovel, thinning their numbers and disrupting their supply lines. At Chiselgrip, the adventurers enlisted the aid of Theleron Direneedle, a skilled tailor from the Thorian Brotherhood, who crafted a convincing Blackrock orc disguise. This allowed the adventurer to infiltrate the Blackrock ranks, posing as a grunt to gather intelligence and sow discord from within. While polishing boots for Quartermaster Kaushin, a mundane task that provided cover, the adventurer assassinated 3 prominent Blackrock allies using a Scorpid Barb, a subtle and deadly weapon that ensured the deaths appeared accidental. Kaushin, unaware of the deception, tasked the disguised adventurer with summoning war kodos from the southern Grazing Lands, revealing that General Thorazog had ordered an imminent invasion of Redridge. The adventurer complied, but kept the kodo calling horn, delivering it to Trotman and Eitrigue at Chiselgrip. The news of the impending attack alarmed the leaders, who had not anticipated the Blackrock's plans would progress so quickly, prompting them to escalate their countermeasures. The Blackrock Orcs' fiery wrath, fueled by Nefarian's dark influence, has left scars across Northshire and Redridge, their ambitions thwarted by heroes of the Alliance and New Horde. Yet, the clan saga continues as new leaders rise and old loyalties shift in the world reshaped by chaos. In our final chapter, we'll uncover the Blackrock's cunning plots, their reintegration into the Horde, and a chieftain's quest to forge a path of honor from a legacy of strife. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to join us for the epic conclusion of this tale of power and redemption in Azeroth.